What is good, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Stay Attached podcast. Today, we're joined by someone who is very hydrated right now, as you can tell by that big gulp right there of water. A coach, a former professional player, someone who's been a part of so many legendary teams and rosters, won world championships and won many tournaments. Troy Sender Michaels, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Better now. That was good gas, bro. I haven't heard that in a minute, so I appreciate that.
Listen, if you need anyone to gas you up, you call me. I'll gas you up easily.
Perfect.
Troy, you were sending me home back in Black Ops 3 at the Burbank studios. You're placing top 2 at the tournaments, and now here you still are in the Call of Duty community, getting rings with New York. I mean, coach in Chicago, coach in LAT, some of the biggest teams in the game in Call of Duty. So, but what's been your most special moment? Like, which event for you really stands out the most when you think about like your career as like a coach?
Probably the Major 1 win on New York. Right after I joined them, basically, because I feel like that was an environment that nobody thought that we would be top team, and it just felt really good to be like in that culture of people that wanted to win more than literally anything, and felt like they had so much to prove.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody had their situations. It was just very different. Like everybody came from like kind of like a shitty environment before that, I felt like, and kind of having it all come together that year felt really nice. So winning that event probably meant most to me.
That's crazy because you guys won what I think like 3 events that year, and then also champs, so 4 total.
Yeah.
So the fact of it being Major 1 is pretty crazy because I know champs was a crazy event too. I mean, you reverse swept my team. The Hugh, the infamous,
was an insane series.
Oh my god, don't even get me started. Don't even get me started. The infamous Hook HyDra play where like he just pushes to the left, Kismet gets by. Like I feel like you guys actually had such a crazy event, and then to just go out there. Yeah. I mean, you lost to Tron the day before, then you 5-0 the next day in finals. Like that's just must have been such a crazy ride, especially watching like behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, like I definitely feel like, the entire year we went through so many like ups and downs, and I feel like that's how every year goes for the most part. But that year specifically, it's like you win the first event, and then we got like top 12 twice. Like
we all know how important audio quality is in gaming and the advantages that it can give. So with games like Black Ops 7 and Battlefield 6 on the horizon, it's time for you to upgrade your audio quality, and to do that, you need to get the Tipsy Audio IEMs. These are the M3s, the ones I currently have on right now, which are very comfortable and also the highest quality IEMs you could find on the market right now. Trust me, get rid of those old dusty gaming headsets. I already have a headset dent from years and years of wearing those headsets, and I'm trying to save you from getting a headset dent. So if you want to have the best audio quality and also a very comfortable IEM, I highly recommend Tipsy Audio. You have a few options when it comes to IEMs. The M3s are the highest quality ones on the market at about a $220 price point before the 10% discount. And then there's also the Tipsy Audio M1s, which are $99, and they're still very good quality. So if you don't want to make the full-on splurge to get the nice one, you kind of want to like ease in and test it out. They also have the Tipsy Comfort ear tip set, so you can find the right size ear tips for you, because I've had IEMs in the past that have really irritated my ears. I was not able to wear them for more than a couple hours, and it was scratching my ears the whole time. It felt like they were bleeding. So being able to customize and find the right fit for my ears and make it comfortable, because that's so important to have while you're gaming for long hours, or you're hosting a podcast and talking to some of the best Call of Duty professionals in the world. So big thank you to Tipsy Audio for sponsoring the Stay Attached podcast. Guys, make sure you check out Tipsy Audio in the description down below and go get yourself a nice pair of IEMs today. And do not forget to use code ATTACH, ATTACH, for a 10% discount off anything Tipsy Audio.
Like, people are coming to us asking us for changes, stuff like that, and we kind of just had the faith that we still had the potential, but we just kind of needed to make sure that we just clicked mentally. I think that was the biggest challenge that year. So
yeah,
I feel like that's like kind of how every year is progressing more and more. I feel like it's getting a little bit less about just being good at the game, more about like understanding where you need to be at mentally. I think that's like the biggest factor in being successful in like anything competitive. It's not really something you think about when like you're younger and stuff, but as I've gotten older, the more I've understood that being like levels ahead mentally is what's going to give you like that advantage. So
yeah, I mean, hey, you showed it for quite a few years, since especially you've been coaching with, because you've always been working with like the top players, the best players in the game. And one specifically has been like HyDra, because I know you coach HyDra, won MW2, MW3 as well, and then you won the world
this is gonna be my
championship.
4th year.
So you guys have won what, like 5 events at MW2 and MW3, and then 2 events this year, so 7 events total together.
Yeah, I think 6 or 7.
Okay, and I mean, we all know Paco. Like, of course, everyone watches him. He's disgusting. One of the best moves in the game. One of the best shots, awareness, everything. He's one of the best players that we've seen since he's really like hit that peak of his potential. And because we saw him coming in Cold War and have talent. Same thing with Vanguard. Like, he was talented but didn't have the right pieces around him. You start coaching him, and then what happened? Like, what's it like working every day behind the scenes with Paco? Because he is a very quiet guy out from looking out from the outside in.
Yeah.
So like, what's it actually like working with Paco that keeps him at that level?
I feel like we're pretty similar. I think both of our work ethics, like, we're pretty like tense with it when it comes to like improving or just staying ahead of a meta or thinking outside the box. We both have really good perspectives about the game, and I feel like it always kind of keeps us ahead, like, strategically, as long as like we're staying consistent and like, you know, just making sure that we're staying on top of that. But yeah, no, he's honestly just a really good kid, very easily coachable. Like, I feel like with him, he listens. Like, you could tell him something once and he's gonna do it. Like, he's not the type of person to just be in his own head about things. Like, he's just gonna trust what he knows and just kind of go with it and at least try things out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's a really good teammate. Like, I really have not had many issues with him like at all the past 3 years, which is why, for me, you know, it's so valuable that I feel like I get the opportunity to work with somebody like that, because you know, there's tons of players in the scene that I feel like are kind of hard to work with, and I feel like with him it's been pretty.
Yeah, no, that's good, especially for him being like as talented and good as a player as he is, winning multiple events in a year, winning MVPs and stuff like that, to still be hungry and coachable in the later stages of his career, to like want to improve and just listen to people around him and put faith in them as well. So I mean, that goes to show, and that's probably why he's been at the top of his game, one of the best SMGs in the game the past couple of years. And then going over from Black Ops 4, before franchising hit, you were a part of E6 as a coach?
Yeah,
I believe
E6, Black Ops 4.
And then in MW19, I think you ended up with Huntsmen as the introductory year into the CDL, right, as their coach. How did that transpire? Because like, just from what I've known you, I didn't know if you had too many connections with like the Optic people at the time before they went to Optic or Chicago Huntsmen. There was Optic LA split up. How did that like roster period and roster media go for you as a coach going into the CDL?
I mean, to be honest, like, I didn't really have many connections. I think for me, it's more about like, I was always just kind of, you know, with the people that I came up with for the most part. You know, that was like always my vision, is like, I wanted to be successful with the people that I came up with. And going into that transitional period, we got like 4th at champs, I'm pretty sure. I think the roster was like General, Kiz, Godorex, Brezzy, and Mayhem. And we kind of thought, like, honestly, we went into like the whole transition period to the CDL like pretty ignorant. Like, we didn't really understand that the concept of the fact that like rosters getting made based off of agents contacting Zorgs and stuff.
Yeah.
And Godorex at the time was the only one that had like an agent. The rest of us were just kind of like winging it. And I remember at first we were talking to Paris to join them, like with like half the roster at least, or like majority of the roster, but the offer just didn't seem that good. So there was like a couple other teams that we were talking to at the time that felt like it'd be a good home, but those conversations are just very hard to have, and I feel like they were kind of just getting manipulated by other people. And so what ended up happening was I was going to coach OGLA. I remember the game came out and I was working with them for a little bit. Jordan General got picked up by Optic as their sub. They needed a coach because Teep didn't want to coach; he wanted to stream. So basically, my name got brought up by Jordan for me to coach, and then that's when they contacted me. So at the time, I was talking to Jamie, who was working with NRG at the time when they merged, and Hector, and they kind of just wanted to get me on board.
Boy, that's crazy. I did not know you were working with like OGLA for a little bit, and then that whole that's insane to think about.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh shit, I'm probably gonna be on Optic, but the fake Optic, but then you went to the real Optic. You went to upgrade.
I think it was one of those things where I was just like constant talks like contractually, so nothing was official with them, and it just kind of felt like everything was in a lull. And then when I got the offer from Huntsmen, literally they just gave me a contract the next day. So I was like, okay, well, who do I feel like I'm gonna be more successful with at that time? And
Mm-hmm.
I just felt more comfortable, and I felt like going with the Hunts made more sense.
Yeah. And then I believe you guys won 2, 3 home series that year, around there.
That year's a blur. I think we won like 3 home series. Yeah, I think we won 3, and I think we got 3rd at champs.
Yeah, I know. Like
So,
there was the infamous 1v1 on Arklov Peak of
yeah.
Envoy versus TJ, where it was literally like a movie. You got the old Optic or Optic LA. You got the fake Optic versus Chicago Huntsmen, the actual real Optic, down to the wire, game 5, round 11, 1v1. Like it was actually a movie. And then I think Hector said like that helped that match, and that winning that helped him get the actual like Optic brand back. So
It's actually insane.
like it's I don't even know. That's literally like something in the movie. You can't write a script any better than that.
I remember for that match, it was obviously during COVID, so
Yeah.
the only person that wanted to play from the office at that time was Preston, Pristini, and Dill. And I don't know if both of them were in the office at that time. I don't remember 100%. But I remember I think it was just me and Dill in the office for that match.
Mhm.
And I was like sitting behind him to the left, just watching the entire series. And literally right after that round, it was just us two just getting insanely hyped. No one else in the office.
Yeah. And we're like, let's fucking go. Let's fucking like, because usually when you get hyped, you're used to dapping so many people up. You have your team, you have your other coach, your analyst, the videographer. You're dapping up like everyone, your photographers, but it's just you 3. So you're just like,
I started
let's go.
just shaking his entire chair, and just going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, that year actually wasn't even like real. Like it just feels like a blur from the home series. So obviously COVID shutting everything down. You can't do much, go anywhere or anything. Like it was just such a crazy year. And then especially with all the things that happened within Call of Duty, how like you would have the home series, but only 8 teams would compete in them. So it wasn't like it was a real tournament, but there was only 8 teams in each tournament. So it was like, even when you won, you're like, oh, nice.
Yeah, and then just being honest, like everything being online, nothing really felt like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I feel like it would have been easier to work with people like in a year like that haven't had as much success as my team did, like from tournaments, LAN tournaments, stuff like that. Because it just only being online, you're kind of just like you're doing your best, but your passion's definitely not there.
There's no dope, as people would say. Like,
exactly, no dope.
You can't be in the arena. People are getting loud. You make a crazy play. You win a match, win a tournament. Like people are celebrating, going crazy. But online, you have your it's just Troy in the back yelling. And you have been known for this. Even this past year with your LAT roster, there would be times. I think there was that one clip where Scrap was like, "I'm pretty sure that's Troy yelling in the back." And like you were just screaming or something. So what's up with this like yelling thing? Like, is that just your personality coming out, or are you trying to intimidate the other team? What's going on with this yelling on stage?
I mean, I think it started during my New York team at Major 4, like it was the Burbank event. And I remember like in Winners Bracket, we got 3-0'd by FaZe in like 15 minutes. And we kind of just like talked about it. And I'm just like, dude, it just doesn't even feel like anybody wants to be here.
Yeah.
And I like having that conversation, I feel like kind of woke everybody up to be like, even though it's not like an official tournament, like we still need to lock the fuck in. Like this is like what's going to make us feel the most confident going into champs. Yeah, every single match that we played after that, obviously we won that tournament. And I'm not saying it made a difference or not. I just think it helped elevate our energy because I feel like there was just times where people just sounded fucking dead.
Yeah.
And I just think like I'm just not cool with that. Like I hate I hate any reason or any excuse after you lose. Like I want to be able to lose a match and not have a single excuse as to why we lost.
Yeah.
Like it's just one of those things where like if people are going to be bitching about the fact that like we just don't even want to be there, like I'm going to make sure that like we want to be there. Because at the end of the day, like, your career is so fragile. Every single year, you never know where you're going to be at the end of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Some people definitely take it for granted, especially if like you're not in like the best environments. Like it could just completely tank you,
Yeah.
And the last thing I'd want to do for any team that I coach is feel like any player is getting put in a situation that like your career is just fucking chalked. So, if I have to try to do my best to will that out of them, I'm just going to do that. I think that was a challenge this year. It wasn't as much like the first event, but Major 2, we lost to Toronto. in the series, like we just sounded like we weren't even like trying, not in a way where we weren't.
Yeah.
But it just felt like,
but you not like the everyday effort you're used to.
And
like
then we went to the back.
They would like die for that.
Yeah, like, and we went to the back, and like I was hearing all the conversations that were happening, and for me, like, kind of just clicked that I just kind of needed to be like this beacon of like energy for these guys, like all the time, which I'm perfectly okay with doing. I feel like some people are kind of like, they don't like to be that type of like person to like that. They're kind of just like, a lot of people just like kind of fit into like whatever the situation is. But for me, like, I'm trying to like bring the best out of everyone. So like whatever that means. So,
you're
like,
adapting.
I guess, like,
you're versatile.
Yeah, literally. I'm just like, I think like me doing that was like trying to exemplify the fact that I'm here to make sure that my guys are fucking teed for the match. So whether it worked or not, like, I don't know, but we won 2 tournaments after that. So
yeah, we won 2 tournaments after that. So something must have clicked. Whether that it was that or another thing that might have led to another thing that helped out everyone get better, or the team get better. So you never know. But as long as you're putting your all in, I mean, I feel like you and your teams have been known for like all the extra effort when it comes to like the wall bangs that you were doing in MW2 or MW3, the nade spots as well. Like I feel like your team is always the one going like above and beyond, because I know it was MW3 when like the strong arm nades got banned, when like I think Caesar 3-piece someone on Karachi with like a nade across the map. Yeah. And then the next day they were GA'd.
Yeah. I think like I'm cool with stuff like that. I feel like for me it's like it just brings like a level of depth to the game that like you might just not see normally. And sometimes like the game can just get fucking stale. Like you're sitting there scrimming it every single day. Like everyone's doing the same shit over and over again. Like you have to think outside the box. Like whether it's a cringe thing or not, like I just think that's what makes people always think about the game. So like, you know, once you're like in that autopilot mode where you're scrimming and you're not really feeling like you're learning anything or getting better, I feel like at that point, that's when you start regressing. Yeah. Because teams are only going to get like 1% better every single day at that point. You know what I mean? So about just really trying to find ways to elevate everybody. Yeah.
And I mean, I even think that you could see it with like the search and destroy in this game. That's why like everyone hates the current GAs with like the smoke and the sniper. Because take for a ghost, for example, like you could use, there were so many different things you could do when you're playing S&D. Like someone sniping across that might have thermal on. You can have a smoke on. You can have incognito. You have a thermal Remington. You can have strong arm stuns, a strong arm nade to like get information or to zone a lane to make sure that they can't push it or anything or do damage to them if they do. So like nowadays in Black Ops 6 S&D, it's just spread, make a play, spread info, play, spread info, play. Like there's really no variety. There's no creativity. So hopefully that could be fixed a little bit in the upcoming game in Black Ops 7, because the game definitely, especially S&D, is such a great game mode, but it can get stale when there's no creativity going on.
Yeah, so like that was like one thing that I feel like made it interesting to watch us, because like even if we didn't do anything, everyone would assume that we were going to do something different. So it just made it more interesting to watch, I guess. And I think that was like, and it's also cool for me because like I love being in a private match and shit. Like I think that's fun. I love just like thinking outside the box. I feel like that's like, I feel like that and watching VOD is like what gets me in like most flow about thinking about the game. So if I'm not doing that, like I'm probably not trying. So you know, just being on just being on top of that for me, I feel like helps the most. And I feel like it's nice to like go into the office and be like, dude, I found this, or like, yo, like we should try this. You know?
Yeah. Instead of just showing up. Instead of just showing up, everyone showed up. All right, warm up. All right, play. There's just no actual like, and no one's hungry to like learn or do something new. It's just like, and that's how you just kind of start falling off as a team, because no one's presenting new ideas and conversation happening to get better. So
100%.
Definitely feel that. And I mean, Black Ops 6, your LAT team was really good. Of course, it was dubbed a super team going into the year because you had HyDra, one of the best SMGs we've ever seen. You had Scrap, one of the best ARs we've ever seen. You had Dan Ghosty, who's like, they saw he had talent, but he still had to like prove it. He was still like pretty new, only a couple seasons in. And then Envoy, who's a champion, who's always been a very smart player. Did it feel like there was a lot of pressure for you guys to perform like right away, or how was that going on? Because I know after the first 2 majors, it was kind of like, oh shit, like, is this team really a super team? Like, of course, you guys could have potentially won major 1, but it's like, oh, we're expecting them to win an event, because if you don't win, it's kind of like a failure, just because you have with the name of players you have on the team.
Yeah, I don't think anyone felt pressure outside of like our own camp. I think for us, like we just have such high standards that like, and something I really liked about this team is like, for the most part, they took a lot of pride in their practice. I would say like I'm even highlighting Scrap about this too, because Ernie is like this guy is very, very determined every single day in practice. He goes hard a fuck ton, and I think like that's something that's admirable to me because I've worked with a lot of people that haven't really they don't really take practice as seriously as I think they should.
Mm.
And with him, like he has very high expectations every single day. So that's something I felt like bled into like everybody on the team every day in our scrims. I think it helped a lot. Obviously shit happens, right? Like if you're gonna lose a tournament, like getting like second or losing off some bullshit, whatever, like we're still going hard as fuck. We're trying our best to be the best that we can be. I think our expectations throughout the entire year was the fact that like we literally didn't even want to drop a map.
Yeah.
I feel like was like attainable the whole year basically. I honestly think just like there's just some things that were going on behind the scenes that like kind of out of everyone's control going in the end of the year that kind of just made it more difficult to kind of make sure everything stayed aligned, and of course it ends up being the biggest fucking tournament of the year. So like wasn't for that, like chances are I feel like we go into the last couple tournaments and we probably either win them, get top 2, top 3, whatever, but I think overall the year was a pretty good success aside from like the last couple tournaments. And I was just really happy to have the opportunity to work with them. I think coaching Gil again was a really good feeling. Like I feel like I've seen him grow up so much, and just as a teammate in general, like he was being more of like a more of a leader, I would say, in terms of like just being kind of like that figure on the team that was like always consistent. And I think that was like one of the growing moments that I saw in like when I was coaching him before. With Ernie, it was like a very pleasant surprise seeing him. Like I feel like from the outside perspective, people might think he's just like this douche, but like, he's actually
just talking shit, yapping.
No, I fuck with him heavy. I think like he works super fucking hard. Like he really tries his hardest. Like he's honestly just a good dude. And Dan, I feel like Dan had like such an incredible mind for the game, and he honestly like was trying to do his best to like elevate everybody on the team, which I feel like every team is that sort of person, I think the team, like, if the team were to stick for another season, like chances are like they would definitely win more. You know what I mean? So I just think it's one of those things. So.
And when it comes to like coaching as well, a lot of teams have multiple coaches. Like when you were in New York, you had D-Real. When you were with LAT, well, I mean, you still are with LAT, you have Shane. How do you guys figure out what like your role for the team is? Like, is it something you guys talk about before the season and do it, or you kind of just feel it out and figure it out through then? Like, how does that really get decided to like who's going to be more like of the in-game guy, who might be the more vibey guy? Like, how does that work?
I think it's just adapting. For the most part, I feel like it's very hard to be a coach if you're not willing to adapt to like the people you're working with. So for the most part, like, I'm gonna feel things out. I don't just jump right into it and just try to assert everything. I like to see like what everybody can bring to the table and like how we can have everything kind of just click together. I think a big difference with like D-Real compared to Shane is a lot more vocal about like certain things that he wants, like about like in game, which is like I think a good trait to have, and he's a super smart mind for the game as well. So like there's times where like he's just taking the reins on that, trying to make sure everybody's on the same page about like how we should play certain situations, whatever. And I think D-Real, he was a lot more on the mental side, which I think made it so I was mainly focused on a lot of the in-game shit, just making sure that we're on the same page, and he was the guy to make sure that we're like everybody's just mentally prepared going in, just whatever we're doing. So I think it's just interesting, like the dynamic. I think for me, I'm kind of just a hybrid of everything. Like I kind of just understand it from like top to bottom exactly what I needed to like make sure I have a team that's going to be successful. Like I think like every year I kind of learn like a few things that I feel like I need to be like completely implementing. And I think for me it's like I'm a lot more of like a hybrid. Like I kind of just do whatever. So
that's good. You're gonna slot you in anywhere. You're gonna assess assess everyone's play style, how they act in game, out of game, how you need to talk to them, and then boom, you're like, I got to do this to work with this player and this team to make it work. So you can kind of do it all.
Like, I think one thing I'll highlight about myself that I feel like obviously normal people wouldn't know, but I'm really good at like adapting to like the individual, like instead of just like what my expectations are. I want to make sure everybody on the team is comfortable. And I think like that's something that I try to prioritize in a team, because everybody could have like different ideas of how they want to do things. I want to make sure everybody feels heard and feels like they have a voice when it matters. And I just think it's one of those things where I'm okay with like not being right, or I'm okay with just taking the back seat if that means everybody's on the same page. And I think like a lot of people's ego would like stop them from wanting that. But for me, it's more about the success with the team, even if
Yeah.
like that means like what I think isn't what's being done. You know?
Yeah, it's not just my way or the highway, and then you're just gonna fight
Yeah.
the whole time, and then two players agree with you, the other two don't agree, so then there's just like tension between the players, between the coaches, like no one's seen eye to eye, and usually if that's happening, you're not gonna find very much success with the team. Like,
yeah, I think it's like one of those things where you just gotta focus on the players being like stars of whatever's happening. Like if they think this needs to be done a certain way, like I'm just gonna let that happen and just see what happens. I'm not gonna try to like override their way of thinking. They're the ones playing the game every fucking day.
Yeah.
Like they're not just gonna be spewing some bullshit unless like they were just tweaking about something.
Yeah. And I mean,
yeah,
they played every day, so they definitely don't want to just go out there and get shit on. It's not like, even if what they're saying might be wrong, they're not planning in their head like, I'm gonna just say some wrong shit to my team and just making sure we play bad. Like, they're trying. But from your years of coaching and like talking with other people, seeing other teams and how they're coached and stuff, do you think there is any like bad things you could do as a coach? Like, what do you think with like, have you seen or have you heard of it? It's like, oh shit, like that's kind of weird to like do as a coach that could like affect the team, because you heard all about the good stuff, but like, there has to be some kind of skill gap a little bit in coaching and working with different teams and players.
Yeah, I'm more of like a stoic guy. Like I'm not like I definitely wear my heart on my sleeve about certain things, but when it comes to like at a tournament, like I'm never gonna be the one to tweak like ever. Like I feel like I'm like pretty on point about that, because I feel like if your coach if you see your coach when you're down 0-2 and he's like tweaking, like you're just gonna lose. Like you just feel like they don't have faith.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where in the moment, like you're already under so much pressure. Like if there's no one to look to, like it's the person that you're working with every single day that isn't like actually playing with you. Like is your coach. You know what I mean? Like I want to be there and like make sure that everybody thinks that like we can do this shit. Because I promise 100%. You, like every single tournament that you play, and you can attest to this, there's always that one series where like every tournament you've ever won, there's that one series that you play that you probably shouldn't have won.
Yep.
But you win it, and then that's like kind of what propels you to like winning the tournament.
100%.
And I think like that's like the barrier for a lot of teams that get in those situations. They just probably don't feel like they have that genuine faith that they're gonna win.
Yeah.
And I just think at the end of the day, like COD has so many variables. Like it's just like any other FPS, but it's about really like staying ahead of it mentally. Like go into those moments and just have that genuine belief in like you and your team that you could still win.
Yeah.
And even when you're in like backs against the wall, like I don't hear no one fucking tweaking. Like we're going to this map and like we're playing it, like we're going even harder than we have the last couple.
Yeah.
I feel like that's like having one reverse sweep can completely change like an entire tournament for you.
Yeah, no, it did. It did. You guys reverse photos the champs, and he won that shit. So that was very impressive. I wish you would have been tweaking with the team and tell them to just wrap it up, so you guys wouldn't have reverse swept us. But you stayed calm and composed, and look what happens. World champions.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, well, I'll even highlight Kiz there, because like we went down OT to you guys and we were in the back, and I started like just making sure everybody was on point. He was like, Troy, you don't even have to fucking say anything right now. Like we're good. Like don't worry about it. I was like, all right, perfect. I'm not saying nothing.
Yeah. No, but that's so true when it comes to like your coach, because the last thing you want is like, you guys are playing bad. It's no secret when you're a player or you're a fan, or you can watch it like, yo, you just choked a really bad situation. You should have won map 1. Oh, now great. You also fucked up map 2 as well. Now you should have won to be up 2-0. So that's like, that could be in the back of some people's heads. Like, oh my God, we should be up 2-0. Like it's chalked. Like instead of thinking whatever happened, focus on map 3 and let's just go hard on this map 3. The last thing you want is your coach to come up there like, yeah, you guys, I don't know, man, you're terrible right now. Like, of course you got to say things to like wake them up, but like, you don't want to just go up there like you don't care anymore.
It's like the demeanor sometimes. Like I feel like sometimes like the way like people can be posturing, like you want to make sure that everyone's like confident no matter what. Like another moment that I can remember is Major 5 Toronto in MW2. We were playing against Toronto round 1. And we lost like a control. It was like round 5, and we're up like 20 to like 5 lives or something stupid. It was an insane situation. It was unlosable. We lost. We lost the series. And I remember we went to the back, and people started watching the VOD, and Paco was like, guys, we're not fucking watching that shit. Like we're not watching anything. We're going to tomorrow, like, and acting like this never happened.
Yeah.
And I just think like it's about having like those like genuine moments where you're like, dude, like if we start tweaking about this, we're just gonna waste our time.
Yeah.
There's no point. Like, and it's even harder to do that sometimes during the series. But
Yeah.
you know, if you do end up coming out of those moments like, prevailing, then it's like a godlike feeling. So
yeah. And then even when it comes to like Paco saying, "Yo, we're not watching that," like, I mean, in a possible situation to lose, if it's 20-5, like, you're gonna see.
There's nothing to talk about.
Yeah, you're good. The thing is, there's so much to talk about that there's nothing to talk about. Like, this guy knows that he shouldn't have ego chow. This guy knows he shouldn't have done this. Like, you don't need to be like and nitpick every little thing. Bro, why'd you throw this stun at this angle when you could have bounced it off the wall? Like, everyone knows that they fucked up, and when to do it, it's gonna be an hour or two conversation if you walk through every little mishap and misplay in that situation. Like, and you're really not learning so much from that the bunch of those mistakes into the next day. Like, you're just gonna show up, forget about that happened. You guys are pros, one of the best teams in the game. You know how to play the game. Now go out there and do it, and just don't get 20-5 again. Like, it's not. Some people like tweak about the things that you kind of just shrug off, laugh off, move on to the next thing instead of like make yourself tweak, especially at a tournament. You don't want the last thing you want is players or your team tweaking. Yeah,
100%. I think it's one of those things where it sounds cliche, but like, we are not robots. Like, there's times where like shit's going wrong and it's kind of hard to relock in, or like you're just gonna make a mistake and you're gonna be thinking about it.
Yeah.
I just think it's like about really having like a goldfish memory and really trying not to like reflect too hard on like the mistakes you're making, because that affects your confidence. If your confidence is affected, it's just gonna make you play worse. Not gonna make you like everything's like millisecond decisions, and if you're not like on point, then you're already like behind if you're playing against.
Yeah, exactly. And with the way I've always been with my team, like prepping for a match, whether it's online or at a tournament and stuff, everyone gets into, you're at the facility, everyone watches some VOD, watches some S&D stuff, kind of sees like what the team likes to do with their preferences, not like always to hard counter them, but just to know like, oh shit, if it's a 2v2, they prefer planning B. Or they like to throw these nades, and when they throw these nades, they're doing this strat. They don't throw these nades, they're doing that strat.
Yeah.
How have you felt like you like to do it with your team? Like, are you heavy into match prep the night before for the online matches and LANs, or what do you like to do?
We're pretty consistent. We would just watch stuff the day before. We didn't really like to watch too much of the day of. We just like to stay focused. I'm cool with that. Like, it makes a lot of sense, and these guys are smart, so it wasn't like when the next day we just forgot everything. But going into the map, I would have like 3 or 4 key things to like say that would make it so like everyone's like refreshed memories. Like, okay, we're going to this map. Like, these are their tendencies, their main ones that actually impact what we're trying to do. So, and there's really no point. Like, if you have certain game plans of certain things, like, you don't need to know everything they're fucking doing. You just need to know what they could do to counter what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I think it's more important to like be on point with the shit that you're trying to do than like trying to counter everything that a team is trying to do to you.
Yeah. Because even when you're not going like too in depth of like trying to hard counter a team, I just personally always liked and helped me a lot just knowing where people play. So like, let's say I'm playing Boston and I know Snoopy plays over at A, for example, and I know Purge plays over near mid/A. We kill those 2 players. Oh, Awakening's usually the B player, So it's like, you're just like, oh shit, I killed the A players, I'm planning a bomb A or whatever it is. So just like kind of knowing like the general areas, because if you really look at like all the teams, VOD and S&D, pro teams really don't switch it up that often. There will be times when they do it, but like they always kind of fall back into what they really know. So like that's just something that's always helped me prepare for matches and just be able to get a couple S&D round wins that might win you the series. So I always liked it.
And one thing that I take pride into is like our S&D practice is just having people try different things as well, get comfortable in like multitude of different situations, because like, you never know when like on the fly you're going to just be wanting to try something.
Yeah.
If you're stagnant, just doing the same thing over and over again, it's not working. You're just going to feel uncomfortable.
Else. Because then, that's terrible. The last thing you want to be is on main stage. Like, should I try to just hit down mid now? I've never tried this before. Hopefully it works. It doesn't work. And then you're like, all right, my adaptation didn't work either. We're chalked.
Yeah. It's like, and I feel like those are the people that like tend to be like the worst in like clutch situations. Cause it's like, you're going to get put in some weird ass fucking scenarios. Like, you need to know how to think when you're in those scenarios.
Yeah.
It's not really something you can just like practice and like it be perfect, but it's about just trying different things, see what works and what doesn't.
Yeah. And so we've talked a lot about coaching, and I'm sure everyone listening, whether you're a player or you want to get into the scene and potentially be a coach, an analyst, or someone that just works behind the scene with a professional Call of Duty team or any esport, really. We have one of the best in the business here talking about it. So a lot of free game that you guys just got. But going back to Troy, Sender, Michaels, actually you as a person, as a competitor, when did this whole, because I mean, your Unk status like me too in the gaming community. Unfortunately, we're Unks now. In the real life, we're
Turning
still
30
young.
next month, man.
That's like the 30 is not even that old in real life. But in gaming, they talk about you like you need to be in a wheelchair rolling you up on the main stage and stuff. Like, oh, Troy, where's your cane? The way they talk about 30-year-olds or Unks in gaming. But when did you really start first getting into like gaming in general?
So all my siblings gamed. I have 2 older brothers, 1 older sister. I've been playing games since I was like a kid. Like the most notable is like, I mean, I think for me, like when I got a GameCube, that's when I started gaming the most. I was probably like 10 years old, and I was Smash and stuff like that. It was super fun. And then I started getting into like online gaming after that. With like Final Fantasies, World of Warcraft. Played a bunch of those games like growing up, like through like middle school, high school. And yeah, honestly, I played with my siblings for the most part. Anytime like basically my oldest brother, like Justin, like we'd go to his room to just watch him play games, watch my other brother play games. Like they had like 3 setups in there. It was like a fucking LAN center. So it was kind of sick growing up, just like kind of watching that and kind of just like being cool with it. And I would say getting into FPSs, like probably like when I was like 11, 12 years old, I was playing like a lot of like Combat Arms or Crossfire or War Rock, Gunzy. I was playing so many like online FPS games.
You might be an Unk. I've never heard of those.
Yeah, so I go from that to playing like Halo 3 when it came out. I didn't really play Halo 2 that much. Played COD 4. I think I really got into COD World at War. That was like the first COD I played where I was just addicted to it. Got like max prestige. Got like all the camos, did everything. Grinded zombies super hard, and then started playing GBs and Modern Warfare 2. Started getting that scene.
Yeah, I think, bro, that was the prime age. Like COD 4 to World at War was at least like the best thing ever for game battles. MW2 is still pretty good too, but like the online tournaments would be popping. I feel like the normal XP matches like weren't as fun because like people were taking it more serious for like the PCLQs and other stuff in MW2. But man, COD 4 and World at War was so special on game battles. Like the forums being active, people were like tricking out their profile, trying to make the coolest designs and everything. Like it was just so sick. It was just a crazy moment in time, and a lot of people had that same come up win in Call of Duty. But then when did you really start going to like competitive COD? What was your first like local LAN or major LAN you actually went to?
So I played, oh my God, it was MW2, Black Ops 1, MW3, right?
MW2,
Black Ops 1, MW3. I'm pretty sure that was it.
Yeah, I think. Wait. MW2, Black Ops 1, and then what? MW3? Yeah, I believe so. It was. Yeah.
Okay, so I remember during Black Ops 1, I played the start of it on PlayStation. I was actually getting like, I was like on super high rated like GB teams. But then my brother like hacked the PlayStation that we were on to like play a bunch of different games, so I couldn't play online in it anymore. And, like I didn't have a voice. Like he was like 9 years older than me. Okay, I'm just gonna play an Xbox. And then I ended up playing Halo Reach that year like a fuck ton, and I ended up like scrimming on Halo Reach. I remember like throughout that year, I just grinded the fuck out of it. I go into tail end of it, and I remember I had an opportunity to like maybe go to like a Worlds event, which I think was in Providence that year. But I was like 15 years old. I didn't even want to bring that up to my parents. I had no fucking idea. I was like, yeah, I'm not going.
Yeah, they're Sorry, not gonna say, yeah. Can I fly to Providence? They're like, Providence for video, especially back then, because there was no money being made in video games. There wasn't arenas being sold out. It was like, yeah, let me just go meet up with some gamers I met online in Providence. They're like, what?
Yeah, I was just having too much fun with it. So like, I just didn't really think too much about it.
Yeah.
And then going to MW3, I remember a few of my boys I was playing GBs with, they're like, yo, we need one for this local LAN in Jersey. Like, you should come play with us. And it was like 2 days before. Like, okay, fuck it.
And where did you live, by the way?
I lived in New York.
Oh, in New York. Okay.
Yeah, so I was like a part of like that tri-state area, like all the NJ rods, all that stuff. I was going to a lot of those local LANs at the time. I remember, if you remember who Fluff was, he was like one of my teammates for that tournament. Tears, if you remember who Tears was. There's a lot of OG names.
Yeah.
And they asked me to play at this tournament with them. I said, sure. And I remember very first match on LAN, I played against fucking Brian Saint and whoever the fuck else he was playing with.
Yeah.
I remember I was cooking their shit, but I think we ended up losing. And then, I don't know. It was just a fun time. I remember my dad was there. It was like the only tournament that like, I'm pretty sure my dad ever like check out.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And then after that, I started like scrimming more, playing like online tournaments. Because before that, I never really played any online tournaments. So that's like when I kind of just got into playing like the more hardcore competitive side of it. And then the entire year, I think I went to like maybe like 5 or 6 local lands because obviously MW3 didn't have like a LG season.
Yeah.
So it was just all locals and stuff.
Yeah, and then some good lore, Black Ops 2. I actually won my first ever game battles, gold, with Troy Sender Michaels. A 2v2 tournament. I'll never forget. We played Felony and then Pharaoh, RIP to F3, in the finals of the tournament. Because, like, Fellow and Pharaoh were, like, big names at the time, and especially in Search and Destroy.
Oh, their growth at Search.
Yeah, they were, like, really, really good. They were running the Search community in the online tournaments and stuff. I'll never forget, we beat them, and then I have Tyler Felony tweeting saying that he's gonna hit us offline, and oh my god, I was like, of course. We win the tournament. Tyler Fellow saying we're gonna hit you guys offline now. I was like, oh come on, man.
Bro, people were so dirty back then, bro.
Yeah, that was good times. We won like $180 too. I'll never forget. I woke my parents up because I think it was pretty late over on. It was still late at like the West Coast, probably like 10, 11 p.m. I woke my parents up. I was like, oh, I just won $180 online. My first ever like actual gold because it was hard to get gold back then. Like 100%. The tournaments were there was every pro player in the tournament, every S&D player. So if you won like an actual tournament back then, like that was hard to win.
Yeah, 100%. I think I remember I think I played it with you that Gamescom tournament too at the end of Black Ops 2.
At the end of the year?
Like,
yep.
Yeah, I remember that too because we got like those games cases that like had like I forgot what it was, like a screen in them, and you could, like, put in your console and play portable or some shit. And I ended up selling mine like right after I got it.
Like, I don't need this here. Someone else will buy it.
But yeah, no, I still remember that too. I feel like a lot of those moments in Black Ops 2 were like pretty special. And it's like it's really hard to like think about unless like it's nothing really comes to mind unless like you're talking about it. Like just talking about it, I think of like tons of moments.
But I still never forget that tournament because like I played like the qualifiers or something with you guys because it was like you, Diabolic, and I know Realize was at like a tournament. That's how I filled in for him. And then there was someone else we played with. Was it Cosmo? I don't even know who we played with.
It might have been Cosmo.
It was probably Cosmo. And then I filled in. We did well because we played like shitters, won that, and then the bracket play started, and Realize got hit off in finals versus like it was like Embos, I think Fizzerp, John. It was like a mixture of like players like that, and then we come out after Realize getting hit on. I spawn in and just absolutely fry, and then we win the tournament. And then, but that was like the very, very last tournament of Black Ops 2, like even the last like online tournament. And I'll never forget, I got like 200, 300 followers that day on Twitter because I had like 200 before that. So I was a nobody. And then replays, well, Crowder now at the time tweeted me. He's like, oh, is there some new talent I have to look out for? So, I mean, your whole group with like Lamar, Diabolic, or Steven, and then you really like helped me go from the amateur scene into the professional level scene. Because like I met Lamar. He's like, oh, shit, this guy's really good. I played with you guys a little bit. You're like, holy shit, this guy's really good. So you guys kind of like help elevate me into like that top challenger or top amateur into like the professional semi-pro level for sure.
Yeah, man. I feel like for me, like I've always been pretty low key about that sort of stuff. Like I don't really go out of my way to like talk about it, but there's like a lot of people that like I feel like I was there for like during like their come up just because like I just thought they were good. I liked playing with them.
Yeah.
And you know, I just think like that was for me is like if I teamed with them, cool. If not, like it's just cool to like feel like I'm like with people on their come up as well and trying to like make it, because I feel like that's all it really was like that like era was like everybody trying to like establish themselves past everybody else that like has already established themselves. You know what I mean? So like we were definitely like in that second wave of players to where like we're like, yo, these guys are fucking shit. Like I want to make sure that like, you know, we're fucking smoking everybody and, you know, nobody even knows who the fuck we are. So
yeah, no. So thank you for helping me out a little bit, get me into some Pro 8s and stuff like that, getting my name out there. But it's funny because people will be like, oh yeah, Mercules, like bro, me and Mercules, we played World at War together. We played like 3 games of ranked. Now he's out there winning on Optic. Like that's my boy. Like we're such good friends. I know we haven't talked since 2018, but like the fact that like he's winning on Optic, I showed him that like that jump shot he does. Like I'm the one that really showed. I was like, all right, bro, come on. You played 2 games of ranked. He's never said a word to you. Like you don't know Mercules. Calm the fuck down. But it's funny when everyone tries to like. When someone makes it big and becomes like that big name pro, everyone comes out of the woodworks like, yeah, I know that. I knew that guy. We played like youth soccer. We were 7 years old. Like, all right, man. We don't got to hear that.
I feel you.
And then for you as a player, like, how did it feel like after Black Ops 2 into Ghost, like your career path was going as a player, the teams you were joining and everything?
I think it was hard for me because like I kind of just was like comfortable in my circle for the most part.
Mm.
I think I kind of just always had a vision that I wanted to mainly win with Steven, honestly.
Yeah,
Like
that was your
everyone else I
duo.
teamed with,
That was your fucking duo.
like I fucked with for sure. But he was like the guy that like I feel like we were just trying to see success together, like no matter
Yeah.
what. And the times that like we weren't teaming together, like it definitely went better for me. But I definitely missed playing with him.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was one of those things where like he was never really the problem on any teams I had. He worked super hard. He was a good dude. I feel like it was
Yeah, he
very easy
was.
to just work with him. He grinded the fuck out of the games. Um, yeah, man. I just think for me after Black Ops 2 season, Ghost went pretty well. DW's okay. Black Ops 3 went okay. Like going into like IW, that's when I kind of just fell into a hole. I was in like a really bad spot, like team wise.
Mm-hmm.
Then World War II, I remember starting the year. It was really, really rough. But I remember literally the opportunity I got for playing E6 like that year was just playing eights. I remember like people were just like loving playing with me because I'm a good teammate,
Mm-hmm.
know how to fucking play the game. And E6 ended up picking me up, and then that's when it was like me, BZ, General, and Diabolic. And the reason why Diabolic was on the team is I told them, "Yo, pick up Diabolic."
Yeah.
And obviously, like that year, like could have went better. It went okay, but I still think like, um, yeah, I would say after that World War II season, that's when like Black Ops 4 started, and I played the first couple weeks. I just wasn't really happy with like where I was at in terms of like team wise or org wise or anything. And then I had an opportunity to just coach them,
Mm-hmm.
fucking coach them.
Yeah. Because that's kind of when like I think Call of Duty coaches really started. It was in like World at
like
War.
Black Ops 4 was the main
Yeah, Black
one.
Ops 4 was like I think World at War was the start. That's when like at the very end of the year, that's when like my teams kind of started watching VOD and have like a coach because we had RJ coach our phase team.
Yeah.
We also had Ben before that. I don't really count that as a coach though, at all. And then Black Ops 4, that's when like most teams would like have a coach. Like it was like normalized for every team to have a coach. And then Call of Duty since then has just gotten more and more serious.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, definitely a big shout out to Steven. Hopefully he's doing great. One of my one of the best people I've met on this Call of Duty journey and in the community. So hopefully he's doing good. That was
he's great. I
fun.
talk to him probably like every couple months.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's still my boy.
Shout out Steven, man. Shout out, what a great guy. So yeah, that's crazy how you really like transitioned and you were one of like I guess the first coaches to like do it because after COD, especially back there, like what are we gonna do for work? Am I gonna go back to school? What's gonna happen? Like, coach, I mean, I love Call of Duty. I'm friends with everyone in the community. Like, I might as well give it a shot. Was that kind of your mindset going into like this coaching gig that you just got offered?
So I just like I don't know. I didn't really know where my career was at in terms of playing. I felt like I just wasn't really about just like continuously grinding like the open bracket scene that much.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like where I felt like I was at like competing wise, because I still felt like I was playing well, but just didn't really like translate into the teams I was having. And going into that opportunity, they'd pay me, and I was living alone, and I had to pay rent, all that stuff. So I'm like, you know what, it just makes the most sense financially.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you never know. It's like there was a chance maybe after that year I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to try playing again. But I felt like I was just doing my role so well that I kind of just went with it. I didn't really overthink it. I just wanted to keep trying to pursue that and just see what I could get out of it. Because for me, like I'm a pretty I'm pretty determined. So like if I feel like I'm good at something, I'm gonna try to get the most out of it.
Yeah.
And I think like that's kind of been my journey as like coaching up to this point, you know?
Yeah, just playing to your strengths too, because like of course you still want to play, you still love playing, but it's like shit, if I'm a coach and I'm cooking up good strats, people that work with me, and then you kind of know when you're doing well. Yeah, this is like you kind of want to just keep doing that because that's just what you're good at. You found something you're really good at. You're like, fuck it, let's do it. Let's see where it leads to. And look where it got you now. I mean, you've coached some of the best teams been on the biggest organizations, and you're still here to this day doing it. So it's been a pretty crazy ride from just being the coach of E6 at the time all the way to Huntsmen, New York Subliners, World Championships, and then now LA Thieves as well. So
yeah,
the journey's worked out.
I think this would be my 8th year coaching this
next
year. So,
really?
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's insane, right?
8 years, bro. Oh my God, it's about to be 10 years since Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
What
so like Black Ops
fuck?
4, I started coaching at the end of 2018.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Black Ops 4, MW 2019, Cold War, Vanguard, MW2, MW3, Black Ops 6. Yeah.
Bro, it goes by so quick, but when you say it and actually list all the games and years, it's like, where did time go? What is going on right now?
Yeah, actually.
This is insane. All right, Troy. Now, I've been going easy on you. I've been going a little too easy on you. So now we got to ask some heavy-hitting questions. Maybe stir up some drama, get some nice clip farming, some clickbait. Who are the top 5 players you've ever coached? Whether it's skill, whether it's just how you like them. Like, who are the people that you just enjoyed working with the most? Whether it's their talent or their personality or whatever.
Damn. Can I say outside of my team right now?
Yeah, you can say outside of your team right now.
Okay.
You don't have to list any of your teammates right now. I know you got to give some. You're gonna give some bias there.
Yeah. I'm gonna say. Damn, dude. I think Seth was probably my number one. Seth and Kiz, I think, are kind of interchangeable. Mm-hmm. I really like coaching them too. I really like coaching Jordan. Like coaching Jordan was really good. Damn. I really like that whole New York camp was like, I don't know. It's very hard to like really pinpoint it. I think if I'm gonna like spread it out a bit, because like honestly, I have a really good connection with like everybody I coach. Honestly. Yeah. So if I were to like spread it out, I would say like Scump, Kiz, Jordan, and I'll give it to like Dill. I really like coaching Dill, like even though like whatever, like especially during like the Huntsmen, Chicago, all that. And then the last was, I'd probably say like Preston and Caesar, kind of interchangeable. I really like
put Preston above a Caesar. Like, was Caesar's taking his shirt off making you a little uncomfortable? Like, how did that go in the office? Like,
Caesar's hilarious.
I heard he would take his shirt off. Some maybe take his pants off if it's too hot. What was going on in the New York camp?
I mean, I don't know. I just think like the whole environment, like we're all just like really cool with each other, really just fun to be around. Everybody was just trying to make each other laugh and have a good time and really try to just elevate the experience other than just showing up to the office and just playing the game, you know? And I think like we were doing a really good job of that. So
and so you said, Caesar, take the shirt off. And if you're getting really wild, take the pants off.
Nah, Caesar would do anything you told him, bro.
It might have gotten even crazier. The New York, that's the X-rated files for New York subliners.
X-rated file. If there was a webcam above our office recording at all times, you could easily make a movie about it.
And then what would you say is the, I guess, toughest event or most heartbreaking event that you've ever played or coached at? Which one made you feel like the biggest piece of shit after?
Probably Black Ops 3 champs. That was rough. Playing that tournament. Oh my God. It's just a lot. I was dealing with so many personal things, and then on top of that, we were just getting fucking slammed. So it was like, holy shit. After we just got like second, like twice or whatever.
Yeah, with Chino, Killa, Diabolic.
Yeah. So like it was rough. That was a rough tournament for sure. Then I would say that playing 100%, but I think coaching, coaching's, I don't know. I think probably getting second at the champs last year.
MW3, yeah.
I really thought we were gonna win that, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. I feel like the Karachi S&D. The Karachi S&D when Shotzi went nuclear, like that was such a big moment in the series.
Yeah, Paco had like 17 that map as well.
Yeah.
And then I remember the map one, I think we choked like a 100-point lead.
Yeah.
It was just one of those series that like we lost and we're just like, we knew we should have won, but you know, we don't really, it's not really something we talk about too much. I think it's just one of those things that going back to back there with that team after like the season we were having, like we started the first event, got 12th, and we got like 3rd, 4th, one major 4.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it really felt like it was kind of in the stars for us to win that. So, and that entire tournament, like we went game 5 into the grand finals.
Yeah.
So it was just wild. So I would say that tournament definitely probably stung the most as a coach.
Yeah. And there was a big moment after the MW2 season when you guys won champs, you won 3 other events, so 4 total on the year. And then Priesta got released from New York subliners. So the community was like, oh shit, like they messed up, they trolled, they shouldn't have dropped Priesta. And you guys ended up picking up Sib. How did like that actually go down? Like, was that more so like a org type of situation? Or how did, because I mean, you guys found so much success, one of the best seasons we've seen in the CDL, to making a roster change, which is kind of unheard of after winning champs. Usually the team is like sticking for sure.
Yeah, I think it was definitely like more of like a business sided decision for the most
Mm.
part. It's really hard to really get into because I'm not trying to like step on any toes out there. I feel like it's kind of already water under the bridge.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, obviously we thought Preston was gross. Like, I still think he has insane potential on any team, to be honest. Like, I feel like he's just the type of player that, like, you get some good talent around him, people that listen, and I feel like you would really see the best out of him again. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think picking up Dante was more of like a decision that's like, okay, there is definitely a potential upside picking up somebody like that. I think it would elevate our game in terms of like our consistency. And I don't know, there's just a lot of variables that kind of went into that decision. Um, so yeah, that's kind of why we ended up pulling the trigger on it. I feel like it's like one of those things where it's going to be hindsight no matter what.
Yeah.
Like nobody really knows how a decision's going to go until you actually make the decision. So
Exactly.
you could do everything right, but still not do it the correct way, and it's the wrong decision.
Yeah.
So I think we did our best to try to make do with what the situation was. It probably would have been a bit easier for that team to work better together if we didn't just win champs. But other than that, I feel like I'm still cool with the decision we made. I feel like it made a lot of sense for a lot of the conversations we were having. So
Yeah. And when it comes to talking about teams on paper, I mean, you see it in Black Ops 6 and or just current CDL day and age. Like whenever that team gets formed, the rumored rosters that are formed, everyone's like, "Oh, this team's gonna be better than this team. This team's gonna." So, but you really need to see like them actually play together, how they connect, whose play styles work well together. Because we've seen teams with great players on the team, but it just didn't work in the game. It just didn't transition to the game, and you saw like superstars playing with each other, big names playing with each other, and just not finding any success. So it's not always just put stars together and it's going to work. You have to actually find a system for everyone.
Yeah, I think it's like one of those things where you just want a good balance of like mentalities, because like you can't have everyone thinking that they're just easily the best player in the fucking game, because like it's going to be very hard to keep them on the same page unless they really have their egos in check.
Yeah.
I think it helps like having a good balance and mixture of people that like are just willing to just be on the same page. So I think again that's like the number one thing in finding success in anything is like really having like that hive mind mentality and just being okay with like things not going the way that you think is the best. Because at the end of the day, maybe some things are a bit linear with like what the most efficient thing is, but it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Like as long as like you understand like how to compliment your teammates, like that's when you're gonna really see if what you're doing actually works or not.
Yeah.
Because you can't just like assume that like you're gonna do something wrong, but if you're not on the same page and you're doing something wrong, there's just no way it's gonna work ever.
Yeah.
I think that's like probably the number one thing. For like a lot of like teams now, I realize like especially watching like you could have as much talent like you said as you want, but at the end of the day, if they're not on the same page, like you're not going to get the results you're looking for.
Yeah. And then when it comes to a lot of the play styles and things that have been said in the community about like there's no real like main AR role. It's kind of just being like you have to be able to pull out a sub and do this and just like always find what you need to do and adapt to the situation. What's your take on that whole main AR role or like just roles in general in COD? Because you have a player like Scrap on the team who's always putting up insane amounts of damage, super high engagements, and is an AR player. Then you have players like Mercules coming in as well, and you see him frying, pulling out a sub consistently. Like, do you think like the roles are kind of like a thing of the past and COD's like evolving as how the teams and players play it?
100%. I think it's like more about adapting to each other. Like if it's you just got to understand what to do in every situation. Like and what you think is the most optimal. Like if you aren't playing as efficient as you should be, chances are it's going to be a lot harder to win.
Yeah.
At least in my eyes, like you need to understand when you're in a spot to get kills, how to get those kills, how to play your situation versus like when you're a spot where you just need to put your fucking controller down, block a spawn, calm what's happening, like keep the game controlled for your team. About having that like dynamic. I think somebody that's like perfected that pretty well is Paco. He's like one of the best players in like a lot of different types of situations.
Yeah.
So like some situations that some people get put in where they might just be uncomfortable. Like he understands like his role in every situation he's in. Like if he needs a bump to get kills, he's gonna do that. If he needs to sit in the back, block a spawn, he'll do that. If he needs to soak the time, he'll do that. If he needs to rotate, he'll do that. So one of those things where I feel like trying to perfect everything is what's going to make you like a complete player, and it's going to make it so your teammates have more trust in like you or like each other,
Yeah. Troy, it's been an absolute pleasure coming on. I mean, we're recording off stream right now, so I mean, thank God we don't have the chat in here spamming some crazy stuff because they would always be saying something dumb. We still love them though, but I appreciate you coming on the show and just talking about everything from your experience playing to coaching, all the success you've found, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to be in your position one day. Actually, I got one more question, Troy. I got one more question. You went from playing to coaching, and then how long do you want to coach for in Call of Duty? Do you see us doing this for the next 5-10 years? And then what's like, do you see something else that you wouldn't want to potentially try out and do after your coaching stint is over?
I think for me, in terms of coaching, I'm definitely still enjoying it. So it's hard for me to like remove myself when I feel like I'm still doing what I love, what I have passion in, on top of also getting paid like enough to sustain like the way I want to live.
Yeah.
It's really hard to like argue against it. I think there are definitely times where I'm like, damn, like this is a lot. Like I needed to just try something different. So it's definitely a perspective that I have at times. I think something like a goal that I have after, like I feel like I'm okay with like my coaching stint of like working with teams specifically, is just working with teams kind of in general. So similarly to like how Adamus was doing it the last couple of years, because Fish is like a very like pretty big mentor to me, like the last few years. I really like that style of coaching as well. I feel like that elevates a lot of the people.
Yeah.
I think like for myself, being able to do something like that, but also being able to bring a lot of like knowledge about the game as well as like the mental side, I think would like really elevate a lot of these teams that are struggling.
Yeah.
And to like really learn how to have like a winning system, like a winning culture. So I think that'd be very interesting perspective to have. I think that's like something that like very much intrigues me because, you know, my mentality from the get-go of competing was trying to win with the people I came up with. So it's not just about taking the easy road, about like, you know, really trying to get that out of the people you're with.
Yeah.
So I think that for me is probably like be my number one thing I do for whenever this ends. I don't know, because I feel like I'm pretty tenured at this point. Like I've like gotten respect from a lot of people to where like as long as this is a thing, like probably gonna have a spot no matter what.
Yeah.
And I'm really enjoying who I'm working with right now. So I'm really like, I'm just, you know, I'm more so in the moment. Like I'm more so like take it year by year, season by season. You know, I try not to focus too much on the future because I feel like that kind of like removes the mentality that I have with the people I am working with.
Yeah.
And I think it's like not for me. It's like I have such high expectations for myself that like I would never want the team I'm working with to think that like I'm not locked the fuck in. You know?
Yeah. No. As long as you're passionate about it too, and you love doing it, then there's no reason to stop.
Yeah. So I think like that would be a very interesting thing to do. If it wasn't coaching, then I would definitely want to get into more like producing music. That's something very intriguing as well.
Okay. Do you have like a specific genre of music production, or is it just like any and everything? You just want to learn it all?
It's just more so like the technical side. There's just so much depth to it that it's very hard to learn without being fully immersed.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's like I don't really know exactly what my calling would be in that space, but I put in a decent amount of time, and it's still like I'm still at like a 2 out of 10, like what I would want to be at.
Damn, I didn't know that. That's cool. Yeah. So is that a speaker in the background to the right? I can kind of see it on my screen.
So these are 2 KRKs.
Okay.
I have 2 KRKs, a sub, I have a keyboard, I have a guitar, I don't know. Like I've been into music for a long time, but it's hard for me to like really dive super deep in it during the season.
Yeah,
so,
you're
like,
so busy. Yeah, you're so busy. So no, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Fun fact, man.
Fun fact. I'm learning something new every day. But Troy, you're so easy to talk to, and you're a good people person. You know what to say. You know what to do. I feel like if I need to be vulnerable, I can go talk to you, Troy. So
100%.
Thank you very much for coming on the show. You're a great guy, and I wish you nothing but success in the future with you and your team, LA Thieves, going into the Black Ops 7 season. I don't know who you're going to pick up. I'm sure you're going to be looking at some great players, figuring out who to pick up, and you're probably going to have a really good team. I know Nate Shot doesn't want to have a bad team, so... And it's not bad.
Anyone of us wants to have a bad team.
Exactly. And now apparently the rumors are you're keeping Scrap and HyDra, and those are 2 really good players. So I'm sure a lot of other players want to play with them. So I'm excited to see what you guys do next season. Best of luck, brother. And once again, appreciate you coming on the show and talking.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for taking your time.
Of course.